I'm back once again. As you can see in the background, Ali is back watching over us one more time, I should say. One more round with Ali. Anyways, this is the review for Battle Riot 2. I took some notes, so if you see me looking over to the side like I'm reading a script, it's because I am, technically, trying to get a little better at this. I'm having fun doing it. Whatever, let's go. Let me keep it quick. I'm going to start off giving the show a grade, then I'm going to go through the highlights and the matches that I saw, because I looked up the results as well, and there was like 3 or 4 other matches that weren't on YouTube because I watched it on YouTube. I didn't have time to order it on BN Sports. I think it was being shown on. But whatever, let's get into it. Battle Riot 2, get the hell out of here. Battle Riot 2 was commentated on by Rich Bocchini and good old Jim Cornette. This motherfucker Jim Cornette, real quick. He has a mind for wrestling. I'll give him that, man. He has passion for it and years of experience and shit. But boy, his jokes are just so out of date. Like to hear him on this show make references like he used to do back in the day. You know, like just wacky shit. Like, oh, he has a Texas toothpick. Like when Mance Warner in the damn Battle Riot brought out a 2x4. You know what I mean? Like he was just saying wacky shit. I can't remember all the shit, but yeah, him on commentary. At first, when I first heard it, I think I first started watching MLW on episode whichever one the Contra unit was formed on. I think I watched that one and maybe the one before it, when Simon Gotch got beat by Ace Romero. He had like he had the prize bag challenge or some shit, and Ace Romero came out and beat him. The next week, I guess they had a rematch, and that's when they formed Contra Unit. And so far, I like this faction. Simon Gotch, when he shaved the mustache, he looks like a different man. I didn't know who the hell he was at first. But it was this Simon Gotch, some guy named Samael, whatever. I can't remember his last name, whatever. But either way, man, this motherfucker's nuts too. He wears the curly boots like the Sheik and Abdullah used to. And then he like fucking spits fire in people's face. Like his thing is burning people, which we'll get to later on. They tried to. We'll get to that later on. And oh man, why didn't I write that man's name down? Jacob, I think his name is Jacob Fatu. It's a Samoan cat that's with them. Man, I'm pissed I didn't write his name. I thought I was gonna remember it. I'm tired. I've been at work all day. It's a Sunday, but I've been at work all day today. You know, you gotta get it when you can get it. Anyways, get on the show. Like I said, it's Battle Riot 2. This was in the Melrose Ballroom in New York City. I believe they were there before. I don't know where they were, but this is the second Battle Riot. Like I said, commentated by Rich Bocchini and Jim Cornette. First match I saw was Teddy Hart versus Ace Austin. Yeah, I was bored. It didn't really do anything for me. I think Teddy Hart won with a top rope Canadian destroyer. Sorry. He jumped off the top ropes and flipped over him and hit him with the Canadian destroyer. It looked badass. I can't remember anything else in the match. I mean, except for the beginning. I guess Teddy's gimmick. Remember, I just started watching MLW, and it kind of caught my eye, and I'm going to start watching it more and get more info on it. But I guess one of his gimmicks is he'll go to shake your hand, and I guess it's the cool thing to disrespect him or slap his hand out the way. This jackass, he was fighting Ace Austin, slapped his hand out the way, then turned his back on the man multiple times. Remember, they're simulating a fight. And this motherfucker turned his back on him 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And of course, Teddy capitalized on it and kicked his ass. Either way, like I said, Teddy won. Alright, anyways. After the match, Teddy was at ringside. He went outside the ring, I should say. And the Dynasty were at ringside. MLW has quite a few factions. I'm going to try and name whoever's in each one and the ones I bring up, whatever the hell. Alright, the faction that was at ringside had been beefing with Teddy Hart's faction, which is, they're actually called the Hart Foundation. I thought they were the New Foundation or the New Hart Foundation, but they actually called the Hart Foundation. It's cool, whatever. And Their clique involves Teddy Hart, Brian Pillman Jr., and Davy Boy Smith Jr. The man has been called so many things revolving that name. That's why I fucked it up. But man, they're pretty cool, man. I like them. They're a pretty good squad. But they're beefing with the Dynasty, which consists of MJF, and his name stands for I think it's like Morgan Jacob Friedman or some shit, or whatever the fuck. But he's funny as shit though. He's the leader of his group. Like I said, his name is Dynasty. It's him. I wrote their names down somewhere. Let's see if I can find it in my notes. I know Alexander Hammerstone is in it, and that other guy, I cannot remember his name, and I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I did not. Whatever. We'll get back to it later. Oh, actually, wait. No. Yeah. Yeah, his name is Richard Holiday. Goddamn, wasting time, forgetting names. Sorry. Well, after the match, Teddy Hart went down ringside, started talking shit. He said something to MJF and Hammerstone, talking about he had his balls in his mouth, or some gay shit. And then he went over to, forgot the man's name already, Richard Holiday, and said, "Oh, you have the biggest balls in this group." Like, what the fuck are you? What? Like, the promo was weird. Like, obviously it was off the cuff. It wasn't scripted. And Teddy just was saying some random shit. He's like, "Oh, well, since you got the biggest balls, I'll shake your hand." And he goes to shake his hand. Remember, these are a group of guys they've been beefing with. They've been kicking his ass for weeks. They got him arrested. They whooped his ass. And whooped his ass some more. And he's over here, "You got the biggest balls. Let me shake your hand." I'm going to do my Teddy Hart soon enough. "Oh, yeah. I can't do the Canadian shit right now." Well, anyways. So he goes to shake fucking that guy's hand, and then the guy obviously doesn't want to shake his hand. Like, why the fuck would I do that? And they get to pushing each other, and he's pushing one guy, and there's two other guys next to him. So Teddy's an idiot, gets cracked in the head with a fucking bottle, like because they were at ringside watching the matches, drinking champagne and all that other shit, because that's what they do. So they hit the man with a fucking champagne bottle, and Teddy just goes down. He's out. His boys come out, Brian Pillman and Davey. They run out and didn't do shit. The camera work was weird. Like it showed Teddy going down, holding his head and picking glass out. He wasn't bleeding or anything either, which is funny. But then his boys come out and they start holding him, and they're jumping at the fucking guys in the crowd, but nothing happens, and the camera cuts away. All right. Side note, I like MLW, man. It seems pretty cool. But man, like, maybe I need to watch more indie shit. But this shit was just like, it was just so third rate. It wasn't even second rate. It was so third rate the way it was recorded. Some of the backstage shit, like, I think that's really just the WWE syndrome of watching all those shows in big ass arenas and fucking stadiums, and then trying to go and watch something on small, in an indie type of environment is what it is. I think that's what it is. But I think after a while of watching it, just like with Lucha Underground, it took me a while to get into watching that, and it turned to be pretty fucking good, to be honest with you. I haven't watched, the past few seasons, due to my schedule, but when I was watching it, it caught on, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, Anyways, next match. Myron Reed came out there with Rich Swann. Myron Reed went against Minoru Tanaka. When I was first watching this, when the guy said Minoru, I was like, oh shit, Minoru Suzuki? Like, that motherfucker is the shit. That old man is so cool. Go watch the New Japan and learn about Minoru Suzuki. He is the man. But yeah, he said Minoru Tanaka, and I was like, I don't know who that is. Like, I'm not that big of a Japanese fan to know guys like that, but apparently he's like 46 or 47. He's been around a while, so I looked him up, And what I have down is he is a 4-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champ, 5-time Junior Tag Team Champ, Junior Heavyweight Tag Champ with the whoever. I didn't look all that up. He was 2006 Best of the Juniors, winning that tournament in New Japan. And he's in Pro Wrestling Noah right now. I don't watch any of that. I don't know anything about them. I've heard about them, but I don't know anything about them or who's over there. But either way, he was a Pro Wrestling Noah 2-time junior tag team champ. And also, he is the current junior heavyweight champion over there. Congratulations. That's nice. Anyways, he ended up winning. I see I didn't write any notes. Maybe there wasn't any highlights of this match. I mean, the pin was interesting. I've never seen someone get pinned like that. He looked like he was going for a cross arm bar and rolled him over on his shoulders and hooked the legs and pinned him and won. I don't know. I like Myron Reed. He gives me faith that my old ass can get in the ring because he is a little guy. He is a little guy, but he's very talented though. Much respect to Myron Reed and Rich Swann. All right, next match was the heavyweight championship match between Jimmy Havoc and Filthy Tom Lawler. This was my first Tom Lawler match I've watched, if that makes any sense. I know of Filthy Tom, but I know of him through the Wrestling Observer website and their different, him and that Brian Alvarez and the rest of them motherfuckers over there do they do reviews. They're big time doing reviews. I'm small time, like a fucking mom and pop shop right now. But yeah, they're big time. But that's how I know about Filthy Tom. And I mean, I knew he did MMA. I never seen any of his fights. And like I said, this is my first match of him that I've seen. So it was cool. It was a hardcore match, a New York street fight to be exact. Because wherever you have a street fight, it has to be named after where you're fighting at. That's rules of wrestling. You need to learn. Goddammit. Anyways, I see with notes I'm not as funny as I want to be. I'm going off the cuff, boy. They be flying like bullets out of a fucking AK-47 and shit. Anyways, a couple of notes. They use, instead of using tables, they use like wooden boards. And I thought they were doors at first, as well as the commentators. But I think Jimmy Corney, he actually said they're actually boards that they use to put the ring together. They just had extra boards left over from when, they put the mats down and make the ring and shit. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, obviously, they don't hurt because, you can see when they go through them, when they go through a table, they don't get hurt anyway. But fucking Jimmy Havoc, he stacked the chairs on the board. He basically took 2 chairs, put a board in the middle of them, and then he put some chairs on top of that. And he attempted to do a top rope Hurricane Rana on the Lawler, which was obviously going to be reversed into a top rope powerbomb through that stuff. And it was like, oh shit, that looked like it hurt. But then right after that, he went for the pin. Lawler went for the pin, got a 2, picked him up, and did an overhead belly-to-belly suplex onto an open chair. Like, it wasn't a folded chair. He opened the chair up. And, well, actually, it was a piece. One of the chairs got stuck in one of the boards. Like, it's like little plywood and shit. So the chair was planted into this board. So he pushed it over. And he grabbed Jimmy and hit him with a belly-to-belly on it. I've never seen that before. What else happened in that match? Lawler got sliced. he got sliced open. He had more blood on his hands than on his head. But he was sliced open from a staple gun that Mr. Havoc brought out to the ring. Like, Jesus Christ, Either way, though, Lawler won with some running knees to the face, where he held a chair to Jimmy's face and ran and hit him with knees to the face. Killed the man. Side note on Jimmy Havoc, he seems okay. His character seems alright. He has a big ass gash on the back of his head, like it's a bullet hole or something. Like somebody fucked him up. And then I'm gonna go back and watch their last match. Apparently, Havoc was only one of the only few people, to have beaten Lawler since he's been in MLW. And their last match, apparently, Jimmy Havoc got cut open with a pizza cutter. I want to see that. I want to see how that played out. Anyways, we are gonna get to the Battle Riot now because that's what I saw. Like I said, there was 3 other matches on the card I didn't see. I'm gonna look them up. Whatever, we'll get back to them whenever we can. But like I said, Battle Riot 2. The rules in this match, it was a 40-man match. You can eliminate your opponents by pinfall, submission, or throwing them over the top ropes. It's no DQ. Weapons are allowed and such. Of course, with any battle royal or Royal Rumble, you got folks rolling under the ropes and rolling through the ropes and escaping in all type of wacky ways, to keep the motherfucker going, keep the time going and shit. Excuse me. Hella rude. Tired. Whatever. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the Battle Riot on part 2. So stay tuned, and I will be right back.